Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video of mine, and today we're talking about killing Jack Frost. So let's get into it. Now, before we begin, do you guys like my haircut? I think it's pretty good. It's definitely a drastic change from what I'm used to, but I actually think it's pretty nice. Let me know what you think down below. And while you're down there, be sure to subscribe. Only about 16% of my viewers are actually subscribed, which is a very, very small number. Alright, so let's move on to the actual video. Now, in case you guys did not know, a couple of weeks ago I released a Jack Frost versus Elsa video, and so far the response to it's been pretty good. It's gotten a lot more views than what it should have in that time, and I want to thank you guys for your support. But today, or actually a while back, I realized something. There is one move that I did not account for that Elsa has that could possibly kill Jack. That move is the frozen heart. And if anyone needs a refresher on what that is, basically Elsa just strikes you in the chest with one of her ice blasts, hopefully not impaling you, and then this happens. Now, of course, that's what happens to a regular person. Jack is not a regular person. He's the spirit of winter. I mean, look at this clip. This man is standing barefoot in Antarctica and is not even in a little bit of pain. Well, at least not because of this. So what I want to find out is, would this actually work on Jack? Would it freeze him over? And if so, is there any way he could stop it without true love? Now, the first thing to figure out is if the frozen heart actually freezes you over because of your external temperature or your internal temperature. And for those who do not know what that means, external temperature is basically what the temperature outside of your body is, like how cold the room is or how hot it is. Internal temperature is like your body temperature. How cold are you specifically? That's what I needed to find out, whether the frozen heart works more in terms of external temperature or internal temperature. Now that in and of itself was actually pretty hard to figure out. But there is one key piece here that actually made me figure it out. Fixer Upper. Now this is basically a song all about Kristoff and Anna getting married, yada yada yada. But after the song, Anna passes out. Now this normally wouldn't be a problem. I mean, the passing out is definitely a problem. But the place has got to be cold, right? I mean, they're wearing all their winter gear. Well, until the trolls coated them with a bunch of wedding stuff. Well, it's not actually a cold place. Because in an earlier flashback to Frozen, or would it count as a flashback actually, since... In the flashback scene in Frozen, the original one, we see the trolls heal Anna after Elsa accidentally hits her with her ice powers. In the head this time. This is important, for some reason. And the parents in that scene are actually wearing the same clothes that they were wearing back at the castle when they first found Anna and Elsa. This is important because even if you're in an emergency, if you're going to go straight from your house to somewhere that's really, really cold, you're going to put on at least a jacket or a scarf or something. The parents didn't do any of that. They were not affected by any cold whatsoever. So I can only determine that the place where the trolls live is actually pretty warm. And the fact that Anna's frozen heart continued to spread, even in a place that was warm, leads me to believe that it's all about internal temperature. How cold is your body, the inside? And in that respect, Jack is actually pretty immune to the frozen heart. Take the scene in Antarctica again. Jack is in freezing cold temperatures, probably below minus 40 degrees Celsius on the low end. And I want you to know something. It's a very subtle detail, but it didn't happen. Jack's breath, it's not, well, frosted over. That must mean that inside he is, in fact, well, warm. And it keeps him like that, even in cold temperatures. Because remember, one of the first lines, actually the first line in the movie, is darkness. That's the first thing I remember. It was dark, it was cold, and I was scared. Jack is saying this after he got his powers, which means he knows what the cold feels like. It just doesn't bother him. And why is that? It's because his powers are focused on keeping himself warm, his interior. Unfortunately, he cannot share this seat, as seen when he tried to hold Baby Tooth, and in that retrospect, Baby Tooth herself is kind of a misnomer here, or an anomaly. She doesn't have frozen breath, so what's happening with her? Well, my little general idea is that, well, tooth fairies, they collect teeth from all over the world, no matter how hot or how cold, which means they must have an extra sense of durability when it comes to high or low temperatures. It's not as extreme as Jack's, but it's enough to make them do their job well. Pitch, on the other hand, is a whole other thing. Like, this man is a literal space demon. I think he can survive -50. Not to mention the fact that what's the first thing that Anna does as soon as she's frozen over? She takes her final breath, and it comes out frosted. The frozen heart killed her from inside out. So here's the TLDR. If Elsa hit Jack with the frozen heart, well, it just wouldn't work. Jack's internal systems are guaranteed to make sure that he feels warm all the time, internally, not externally. And normally that would just mean that Jack would have ice on his skin, but seeing as the frozen heart starts from the inside, and Jack's insides are protected, this means just the frozen heart would not affect him in the slightest outside of some, like, mild shock of just being hit and, still being alive. Is anyone gonna get mad that the thumbnail came to a completely different conclusion than I did? But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know what you think down below. Be sure to like, subscribe. I've already talked about this. And until next time, which is hopefully sooner rather than later, don't know how school's gonna go. Goodbye.